Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. and Lady viewing at home, thank you all again for tuning back into Kinetic Aesthetic. The day is Tuesday, so y'all know what time it is. It's sports talk time. Y'all already know the dealio. I'm not joined alone. I got my man Cam with me. Say what's up, Cam.
What's up, y'all?
Y'all already know the dealio. Me and Cam are getting ready to go over all of the craziest sports news this week with y'all, and I'm gonna just keep it a buck. There's been a lot of shit just coming and just hitting the fan right as we are getting ready to record this. We've got trades of NFL superstars happening. We've got multiple. We've got an NBA Western Conference Finals that just wrapped up, one of the most anticipated, hyped up series in such a long time. And we have the finals that kicks off on Wednesday. So I ain't even going to waste too much time with no intro or no segue or anything like that. Let's get right into it. These Western Conference Finals, Cam, we had the Spurs and we had the Thunder going 7 games. This shit was literally back and forth. We saw a game 1 for the ages. We saw a game 2 and 3 that were just crazy. And then we saw games 4 and 5 of both of them just throwing haymakers. Like, what are your thoughts on game 6 and 7? Since I think those are the two that we haven't had a chance to even discuss yet.
So I think, Cameron, both me and you were of the same mind that the Spurs are going to come out game 6 and win that game at all possible costs.
Exactly. You're right.
And we were both like, okay, Wimby's going to drop 50, 20, and whatever. It's going to go there and set. We're just kind of like, except that happened. That exact thing didn't happen, but they won in such convincing fashion that, okay, game 7. Game 7, though.
Shock. I'm still sort of trying to wrap my head around some of the things that happened. You know, Shea is the only one who came out and really did what I really expected him to do on the Thunder side. There's also the question of J-Dub and having him play game 6, which leads you to believe if they would have rested him and just had him. No, because going in, like you said, we both already knew game 6 is the Spurs just aren't going, for lack of a better term. You can talk all you want about who's the better team and if you can just end it on that night, but you just knew they're not going away on a game 6 in their own building. This is going to 7. And I just want to start right there because I think that is the biggest thing that's been on my mind since the series ended. If they were to have just sat J-Dub for game 6, let him get a little bit of more rest, and then have him push it for game 7, do you think that things potentially go differently?
No, and only because, like, he can only play in 3-minute increments. 1.5 extra day of rest isn't going to extend that time very much. And in a game 7, you need everybody to be able to go on command as aggressively and with as much intensity as you can. He couldn't even jump off his left leg. Like, can you imagine him trying to guard Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, even Wemby on the switches?
He can. That wasn't going to happen.
With one good leg, like, he becomes a defensive liability. And then that means he doesn't have the same confidence on the offensive end. Sure, he can take some time from Shea so Shea can kind of do other things off ball. But is that one going to be enough time? More than, like, maybe could he give him 10 minutes total all game? But is that worth it to potentially, one, extend his recovery time deep into next season?
That's true.
Or hurt him so bad he may not be the same player ever again? Like, was that really worth it? Given the fact that you took this to 7 without him and without AJ Mitchell, like, I don't think he should have played at all, to be honest. Because, like, you've shown that you can beat this team without him. You just put him and your team at a disadvantage because now he starts being the dude you point out. You're like, hey, go on him. He's in the game.
Right.
ISO him, switch him, right? And then if he can't do the same things he can offensively, you're and honestly, I hate to, like, no disrespect to him, you're wasting possessions in a game 7, right? With how many possessions that can really go either way.
And I agree with you when you say that, But, and this brings me to my next point, when you compare that to what their other option was as to who is going to be the main guy behind Shea getting touches and everything, because Chet, listen, he's getting a lot of flack right now. He's getting a lot of shit talk. You know, you have so much already going into this game 7 talk of this man is scared, this man is afraid, Wemby's got him shook. And then I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, y'all, I watched game 7 while I was at work. I was not able to really pay too much attention to it, as in like seeing possession to possession. So I'm going based off of what I'm seeing when I look up and when I get a chance to really look at it for more than 30 seconds. I saw every single one of his rebounds. I saw both of his shot attempts. There was nothing else past what I saw. It's been said enough. 2 shots in the first half, nothing in the second half. It got to a point where guards are guarding this man. You've got Castle, you've got Vassell on him, and he's not doing anything that you would think a big man would do. He's being passive, he's being scary. Again, I'm not somebody that played basketball at a high level. I cannot, maybe you don't think I have the right to say that, but again, this man was being scary. 2 more attempts than I did across an entire game in a game 7. When you are the number 2 on the team, what are your thoughts on that? Because I don't think people are overreacting when they say that this is the type of thing to where it makes you think maybe we keep Hardenstein instead of him. Maybe this is why you are going to keep J-Dub as the number 2 and you are going to let him go if you have to, like further down the line. Because that's the performance that you cannot have, especially when, and let's be real, we're looking at this going, who's going to be the top 2 teams in the Western Conference for the next 10 years? It is the Thunder, it is the Spurs. You're going to be back in the same position again, going against each other.
Yeah.
You've got the guards on San Antonio who cannot equalize Shea, who cannot really completely negate him. He's still going to be a force, but you're going to have something that can do something with him. There's literally nobody else on the court that should be able to do anything with this man other than Hardenstein and Chet. And Chet was the one that avoided him the entire series. I don't know what you do. I don't know what to say after a performance like that, but damn it, there is nothing good.
There's one possession that sticks out when I was watching this game. I watched it from a minute, all the time on the clock to 0-0. It's the fourth quarter. It's like, I think 7 minutes left, if I remember correctly. They're down 8-10, I believe. Wemby has 5 fouls. They run a pick and roll. They swing the ball to the wing, and Chet has the ball on the wing, able to go to his left with Wemby on him, and there's the outside defender is a guard all the way on the other side of the block. In almost every scenario, you drive that ball, force the ref to make that call, give Wemby his 6th foul, and you get him out the game. Like, the 2 shots are not like you don't. I'll get to the shots in a second, but like you can still do things to impact the game that aren't related to you shooting the basketball.
That is the biggest point that I mean, because it's like if you weren't doing that, he wasn't doing anything at all. But continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's frustrating because I see it happen. I'm like, it's one of the earliest things you learn in basketball. Dude has 5 fouls, you go at him and you make him make a decision. Like Wemby has fouled out again before. He has done it. It's not like he'll avoid it at all costs. He has done it. Would he have maybe avoided it in game 7? Maybe. But you use that, right? He can't be as aggressive on defense. He can't go for the ball as much if he doesn't have a clear angle to it. He's not going to come aggressively off the help to potentially he could get that 6th foul, especially fourth quarter game 7, and it's not like a blowout. And it happened to multiple OKC players where they kind of didn't decide to test Wemby in the paint, even when it was 5-5. But with Chet, like, he barely has a height advantage. You out there, the same skill set, same body type. Like, I'm not saying you have to score 30. I'm not even saying you got to shoot the ball 20 times. but like there are
He
just
didn't
certain
need he
things.
didn't even need to have 20. I think they needed him to try to get maybe 18, 15 to 18 points.
He needed double digits. He needed to at least attempt threes. He attempted zero threes this game. Not
I
saying like he needs to be like Steph Curry and shooting from all over the place, but like you have to make the defense respect your ability to shoot, especially if you're a 7 footer who can shoot.
I agree.
'Cause if you're not going to take it, it'd be like he's out of rhythm anyway. Go ahead, take it.
I completely agree because when you really look at it, I don't think this all goes to one player, especially because this is, like I said, this is a 7 game series. Shea did not show up for games. There were games where like everybody on the Thunder had at least one game during the series where it's just like, damn, you could have helped us a little bit more on that game. But for Chet in this situation, it's so egregious because it was such a problem throughout this entire playoffs and throughout, and just it leaves you with so many lingering questions going forward because you've got all these contracts getting ready to kick in. They've got decisions they've got to make on Hardenstein, who, again, the way I'm looking at it right now, he's going to be more valuable if you're going to be going up against Wemby so much going forward.
And you are like you can't be in the West and have a Wimby problem.
Right.
A specifically Wimby pro. Like Wimby's gonna get his buckets and he'll get his rebounds and he's gonna get his blocks. But a lot of teams in the West at least have somebody who is willing to go to war with him, so to speak, and at least make that difficult. Like Jokic, Julius Randle or Rudy Gobert, Kevin Durant or Afro Şengün. Like there are just multiple people in the West that are like, okay, you have to put
You're
on the
gonna
chin strap.
I'm not going to bow down to you because you're the new darling. You're going to have to
Mhm.
earn this shit.
Like you have to work for it, and like you can't be the Thunder and have a Wimby problem. You can't be Chet and have a Wimby problem because that is that's going to be your comp. That's like the Luka Doncic Trae Young situation. You're going to be compared to him regardless if you like it or not. And I saw this all over the place. Don't know if it's accurate, so I'm not in Chet's brain. But people are telling Chet like Wimby hates you. You have to respond with the same amount of emotional intensity, and he didn't. I'm not saying he can't. He just didn't. And you can see that, like, he wasn't aggressive with his jump shot. He wasn't aggressive in going to the lane. He wasn't aggressive in trying to get to the free throw line. He wasn't aggressive on his self defense. He made some good defensive plays. Let me not take that from him.
Right.
But it wasn't the level of aggression and almost, what's the word? Desperation that you would think would be coming from someone who's in a game 7 to try to get back to the finals when you have the decided advantage against the team that's waiting for you.
Chet, I feel like in this series, he more than anybody, because it is so egregious because Wemby was the X factor for the Spurs. It's not like this is not a comparable team everywhere else. Like I said, Shea is Shea. You're not going to have anybody that really equals him. Vassell, Harper, and Castile, they make up a great core that maybe the sum of the parts can get a little close, but altogether you're not really touching Shea. But Wemby's the thing that where like, shit, you're the guy on this team that's supposed to not neutralize him, but damn it, give us
They can
something.
work for it.
Yes.
That's the thing. Like Castle and Vassell and Harper and Champagne, they made Shea work for it this series, right? He shot them like 10 to 12% less from the field and the same amount from three this whole series.
Alex
He still got
Caruso
his
gave Wemby more trouble than Chet did.
consistently. And that was the question. It's like, why is Chet on the floor and Chet isn't running Wemby? You have Caruso on Wemby. And the thing is, Wemby would guard Chet on the other end of the floor. It wasn't like Wemby was also like being posted up by a guard, by piecing like posted up by Jared McCain or Kenrich Williams. He was like, no, I want Chet. So it's not even like the scheme caused him to be in different places.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you do with that because Chet played 33 minutes. On only people who played more minutes than him were Cason Wallace, Shea, and Alex Caruso. Why in a game 7 is Jared McCain, who got traded in February by the 76, taking more shots, getting more or creating more opportunities for himself, but is more aggressive than someone who's about to be paid $47.8 million a year for the next 5 years.
That's a question. That is a question.
He got the Supermax. He made an All NBA team. He became Supermax eligible.
And so, since that's such a big ass amount of money, and that brings me up to the next point.
So much money.
What do you do from here? If you are Sam Presti and you're in his shoes, the GM, you know that you are not necessarily keeping all three of these guys. J-Dub, Chet, and SGA, they're not all three going to stay together. What do you do? Like, I'm not saying when you do it or anything like that, but like thinking about like when the push comes to shove, what you're going to have to do, what are you going to do? Because you look at this, there's still Giannis is out there. If you're really worried about Chet and you think you need to try to like package something to try to get him, you got it. If anybody else has it,
is a good fit for this team.
I don't necessarily either, but I could see it potentially being like Giannis. I mean, not Giannis, but Wemby. We need somebody big, somebody who is going to offset Wemby, and that is literally a golden ticket right there.
Yeah, but then you have too many people who need the ball in their hands who aren't good enough off ball. That's the other good thing I have about Chet. He wasn't doing anything off ball. Like he was setting screens, yeah, but he wasn't. There was a lot of get the ball to Shane, let him cook, and not a lot of how can we manipulate the court with our off ball movement to make it easier for all of us. And it just wasn't happening. Maybe that was a J-Dub thing that he did a whole bunch that kind of made that easier, but because then let's say you trade Chet and 2 first-round picks in 2029 and 2030. Okay, probably going to take more to get Giannis.
Yeah,
but we've seen. I mean, one time we saw Rudy Gobert go for 7 second-round picks, and I was like, where are people getting all these second-round picks from?
honestly,
But not neither here nor there. But okay, let's say you make that trade. You now your floor gets smaller because Giannis can't shoot the three. He has a handle, but really only from 18 feet in. Right? He's a great post player, better post player than Chet, but I like a lot. But he doesn't do a lot off ball. So then you have him, Shea, and J-Dub. Shea can do stuff off ball, but that's not really his game. J-Dub can do stuff off ball. Again, not really his game. So now your 3 out of your starting 5 are ball dominant, non-off ball movement players. How does that not leave you with a similar problem now where Wemby can outguard 3 out of the 5 of you?
Yep.
Standing where he's standing right now.
Yeah. And that's why I say I don't necessarily know if it's the thing that you can do anything with right now, but it's going to be a decision. It's going to be something that's going to have to come up. It's going to have to get talked about and thought about because that was worrying. That was very, very worrying, and it's very, very potentially bad going forward because they're not going to get any easier to beat. But speaking of this other team, it's time we really focus on their side of things. I was going into this trying thinking to myself, this is this man's 3rd year. He's been in the league for 3 years. This is already still a crazy ride. It was shocking to me to have to be told this is his 2nd year. NBA Finals in your 2nd year. Dylan Harper, rookie season. Big time threes.
Dylan Harper's not a rookie.
Big time threes. Big time threes.
That step back 3, I think it was in case of Wallace's face.
That's the one.
Coming from the nail, tween, side step back. Shot clock winding down to, I think, push it to double digits instead of, it's a 6-point swing. It goes from being, you could be down 8, get the rebound, 2 or 3, make it 6 or 5. Now it's 11. Brother, and Libby doesn't touch the ball in that position.
He hit the dagger on him. as much love as Wemby got for all the big time shots, the logo threes, just the audacity of those shots, Harper showed no fear in game 7. I left that game
He
saying to
showed no
myself,
fear all year, which is crazy. Like he's 19 years old. He can't rent a car in America on his own.
he's he is knocking on the door for superstardom. Like he is. This is, I don't know how the Spurs drafted this well, but they have nailed every pick in the past couple of years because they've just set themselves up perfectly. Everybody's young. They're only going to get better. I don't know. I'm not even going to think about the guard situation they have, but they've got 3 that could be starting in anywhere else, damn near. So
Mhm. The league's only hope is that they that all 3 of those players, Tess, Castle, Wemby, and Harper, push for supermaxers. But
that's all they can hope for.
but even if you're in the second apron and you don't necessarily need to put your players outside of the team you have, the second apron is really only restrictive for teams that feel like they need to change schemes and change players regularly, or at least multiple times in a season. And granted, you may need to do that sometimes, but because health is always a factor, scheme is always a factor, all that. Because you know they said they're looking at paying Wimby the rookie max at like 301 after the season.
I didn't.
It's like 30. I think it might be 10 years 301.
That's insane. Like he deserves it, and it's smart to try to get out of the way now. But like, damn,
I mean, because now then you can like protract it out
yeah,
multiple years. And
you
because
haven't.
then if you do Wimby's now, you do Castles after, you do Harper's 2 years from now, then you can stagger it. So like all their cap hits aren't hitting immediately. But that probably means Harrison Barnes gonna have to go. Cornet might be gone. Champagne or Vassell might be gone. Well, actually, no, Champagne just signed a contract.
I'm a big proponent of once you have your core 3 or 4 players. Not that everybody else doesn't have like loses their value, but you do what you got to do. You got to keep that core. In the Spurs, that has never been more true. They need to make sure that those 4 don't go anywhere. They play well together. They have each other's back. That little moment in Game 7 where Castile went to the floor after he got fouled hard by Caruso and Harper grabbed him, said, "No, we need you. We need you on this court. Don't
in Caruso today.
right, like we
Fight in
need
the parking lot after the game.
right, like we need you here. We need you for the celebration afterwards. Don't make this shit harder." That is the team has shown so much poise. And I think that's the thing that surprised me the most. I knew that they were good. I knew they had the talent. That was undeniable. But with the way they just showed that they knew how to belong. The stage was not too bright. To to quote Evan Mobley, not Evan Mobley, the other Cavaliers big. The lights were too bright. Jared Allen. When he came out and said the lights were too bright, the Spurs, that is not the case for them. It's the opposite. So
This first team is Broly. They have a lot of potential. The ceiling is incredibly high, and they learn incredibly fast on the fly
yep.
in the midst of things. And now they just need to be refined and the experience that comes with, and they're getting it right now, which is kind of insane. They're getting it so early. Experience of playing in big time games, and unless this NBA Finals game goes to 7, that Game 7 Western Conference Finals against their defending champs might be the biggest game some of them play in their entire careers.
Honestly. And that brings us to the finals because on Wednesday it's gonna kick off. We got the game 1. It'll be the Knicks against the Spurs. My only early prediction is that I am going to be very intrigued as to how San Antonio is able to come out to start off this series because New York has been able to have as much rest as they've wanted. They've been sweeping everybody. They've had their way in this playoffs.
In the most recent games.
They've been having their way. So
Yeah.
if if the Spurs are as tired after this series against the Thunder as I think they are, I know everybody wants to say that this was always going to be the Western Conference and whoever comes out is just going to whoop the East ass. This Knicks team is not what I was expecting out of the East. This is not just your run of the mill team. They have the momentum. They believe in that they can do this right now, and I'm probably going to I'm still going to stick by what I said. I'm leaning towards New York in 6 or 7. I know that they have a lot to overcome. I know that it's not going to be easy. I expect at least one of these games the Spurs are going to put the hurt on them and have people questioning if they belong. But I'm done betting against the New York Knicks, and I'm done betting against Jalen Brunson.
That's fair. I have two particular things that are pulling me in opposite directions. One, the Knicks are the team that, with OG Anunoby, Cat, and Mikal Bridges, have been the best at defending Wemby all season. Right.
And that was another thing I
And
forgot to mention. This is literally a rematch of the NBA Cup of the final.
Adam Silver is just back, feet, chair back, feet up, giggling. He's like, see, I told you. Like, this kind of validates. Because everyone thought it was stupid. Look, for the first year, 2 years at the NBA Cup, everyone was like, what are we doing this? These courts look dumb. These jerseys are bad. Why are we doing this? But now, 6 months later, it is vindicated in some sense. But so the Knicks have defended Wemby the best all season. However, the other thing is that team has gotten better since then, more experienced since then. And something that I think we have to consider, Madison Square Garden as a venue, as a location, as an arena, has a history of pulling all-time great performances out of all-time great players. Reggie Miller, Derrick Rose, Steph Curry, LeBron James on multiple occasions, Kevin Durant, Jalen Brunson, right?
And so you're thinking that they're going to definitely take at least one of them home games against the Knicks because of something like that.
Yes. And I actually think it's going to be Harper that does it, not Wemby.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. See, I wasn't expecting you to go that way. I was not expecting that.
Wemby's going to have his 25 and 10. Pat's going to have too many stupid fouls, which he's been avoiding as of late, but he hasn't been playing someone who's 7'4" and has the skill set that he does. So Cat's going to have to check himself on his fouls. You know, Dylan Harper, there's a game in New York, and my guess it's going to be game 6. Dylan Harper's going to drop 35, 8, and 8 in the Garden, shooting 55% from the field.
That's a prediction.
With a true shooting percentage of about 68%.
Okay.
And I'm saying Spurs in 6. I think the Knicks still game 1 at home. Spurs win game 2. Knicks win game 3. And then Spurs win games 4 and 5. Actually, no. Knicks, Spurs, Knicks, Spurs.
Okay.
I just think with the way this team is moving, like, yeah, they don't have the same amount of rest, but they have an equal, if not greater, amount of momentum.
The one thing that worries me when it comes to that momentum thing, when it comes to the Knicks, Wemby is moving so differently just he himself. It's like he just it's like he gives himself a Zenkai boost every time you think he's out of energy. And he just is able to keep going, keep pushing further. And I feel like again, like this man is out here, the way he broke down and cried and then got up there and talked about how he feels like he's going to die if he doesn't win this.
Because he gives a damn.
Like, I love that. But the thing that I'm saying is was that, like, he really means that shit. And I don't, it's just really hard to bet against a guy who's already that talented and has all of this natural skill, but he wants it that fucking bad.
Like, I firmly believe that if Chet dropped 35 in Game 7 and they lost that game, Victor Wembanyama would have
died on that court.
He would have
his
broke
career would
down.
have stopped.
He would have broke down. He would have broke down.
No, he would have died. Like, I'm not a centerpiece. Seeing your biggest rival beat you in Game 7 to get to the finals and drops 30 on your head, his heart will stop.
You think it would have been worse than like Joel Embiid after Kawhi hit that shot?
When we thought Wemby avoiding the media after Game 5 was bad, Wemby wouldn't talk on a television until November.
Yeah.
We wouldn't see Wemby until the first game of the season. He would be 15 pounds heavier, all muscle, and he would be speaking Russian. Because he would go to Siberia and train in a basketball court made of ice. Because he said, I will not let that man beat me ever again.
Okay.
I'm a little bit of hyperbole, but like he just wants it that bad.
I believe no,
and I think
that's facts. That's factual. Like he wants it.
that is the biggest X factor. Because when you have someone who's that big, that talented, who wants it that much, the one thing you have to worry about is fouls. He might be a little bit too overzealous, but he will do anything it takes. Who on the Knicks is willing to match that energy outside of Jalen Brunson? Does Cat want it that bad? He's gonna have to.
He is. I think Cat is probably going to have to end up being the X factor because I believe that Brunson is going to be clutch. He's going to hit clutch shots. He's going to do what he can and leave it all out there. I believe that Cat is going to try and that Cat wants it. I believe that is he going to do what he needs to do, if that makes sense. So I'm not doubting the effort. I'm doubting if it's all going to translate. Because you need
this.
You need your big guy to really be on point when you're playing Wemby. I'm again not saying you need him to neutralize him, but you need him to be a factor.
In one end, Cat is going to be way more aggressive offensively than Chet had been. We know that for sure.
That's already a plus.
That's already a plus. And I think Cat is a better post player than Chet. But does that work to his disadvantage in this instance? Because then it allows Wemby to stay in the paint or near the paint for both kickouts, deflections, help, defense. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how Mike Brown schemes this up. Because the Knicks love to go to the paint. They love to get 2 feet in the paint. They have one of the highest paint touch percentages and one of the highest effective jumper percentage on offense and defense. So we're going to see. I'm interested to see how this coach battle of how they're going to scheme this up. And I can't wait to see the Stephon Castle versus Jalen Brunson defensive slugfest. Stephon Castle is going to be in Jalen Brunson's front and back pocket.
He is. Brunson has his work cut out for him. This is not going to be no easy ass series of just getting what you want. You are not going up against James Harden or
Davion Mitchell or Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. Sorry, I was for some reason I was getting ready to call him Davion, but I knew that was wrong. Or Donovan Mitchell. He's gonna have to be on his A game. And that's probably going to be a thing where it's gonna be so much more important than everybody else because he's gonna get tired. They're going to make him work for every shot, so all the other players on the Knicks are gonna have to come through. But I'm sticking by my prediction. Knicks in 6, maybe 7.
Even with Mitchell Robinson having a broken pinky?
I'm going off vibes. I'm sorry, I'm going off vibes. I'm going off the clutchness. I think that they are going to be able to keep it close. I think there's going to be big shots that Wemby hits, that Harper hits. But I think that the only thing that can stop the Knicks from really being able to win this is if Brunson is the only one that is hitting the big shots on their side.
I'm intrigued to see how Game 1 mostly because I want to see what sets the Knicks are running offensively and defensively. I think the Spurs aren't unbeatable,
They're
right?
not.
It's just they have so many X factors that are hard to game plan for.
I didn't even mention Fox.
Penny.
I forgot to
Oh,
mention
yeah.
Fox. I literally forgot to mention that man.
Can we talk about how bold it is to play on a high ankle sprain, knowing that an Achilles is just one bad push off from happening?
When the ring is at your fingertips and you feel like you're that close, I get it. Sometimes when you have dedicated your whole life to this sport, I understand, because at that point it's like, bruh, fuck the rest of my life. I've dedicated 30 years, 20 plus, just to getting to this moment, just to have this championship potentially come into my grasp. I will be damned if I'm going to sit there and be like, yeah, I was worried about the future, so I said fuck it and didn't play in that game.
I completely understand it. I'm just saying you can't. I'm giving my respect because you have to understand, like the specter of Halliburton tearing his Achilles in a very same situation
Yep.
or a very similar situation. It wasn't the finals, but Game 7, I was fine. I'm gonna play on it, right? And Fox uses his speed and quickness way more than Halliburton does.
Every time I think about that Halliburton injury, I just remember just seeing the clip of you seeing the muscle in his leg just like pop.
The hard part for me is he went on fire to start that game. Like that game would be infinitely closer, if not a different outcome. But
That's the risk you take. That's the risk you take.
Yeah, it's the risk you take. And a lot of people are talking about, oh, is there an asterisk on this first win because J Dub and AJ Mitchell weren't playing?
No.
I'm like, injuries are injuries part of basketball.
Exactly.
If it was every healthy squad versus every healthy squad, we would have a different champion every single year. Simply because health is a part of it.
Exactly. So I completely agree with you.
No one would say the Thunder have an asterisk if like De'Aaron Fox didn't play the whole series, which he almost didn't, or if Harper got injured for whatever reason, right? They were like, oh no, you got to play what you got.
Big facts. But moving on from the NBA, now we cross over into the NFL, where we have some blockbuster news. This is something that, as a Bears fan, I'm hurt by, because this just made the NFC that much tougher. Myles Garrett, Cleveland Browns superstar, the man who broke the record for the most sacks in a season just last season, is now a member of the LA Rams. Traded for 2 first-round picks and Jarrett Verse, so basically 3 first-rounders. He is in LA. The Rams are going all in. They've got Trent McDuffie in their secondary added. They've got Myles Garrett to the fucking D-line.
Big ad with Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie is one of the main reasons the Chiefs defense was solid last year. Like, but Myles Garrett is a demon. Myles Garrett, LeBron James, Serena Williams, and Target, which were all made in the same lab.
Yep. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't know. The league. This is bad. This is not good. I don't know.
Something that's gonna make this worse.
What?
I'm so sorry for you. Apparently.
Don't say.
Actually, I don't.
Don't say nothing about Aaron Donald coming back. Don't say nothing.
No. I saw something that ended up being bait. I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Okay. You had me scared there for a second, because the way this crazy news is happening today, anything can happen. Anything. But obviously, this puts the LA Rams at the top of the pecking order in terms of NFC favorites. There's Matthew Stafford is coming off an MVP season. You've got Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua as wide receivers 1 and 2. Tight end is not a problem. Offensive line, not a problem. We have just went over everything they have on the defense. You've still got Sean McVay as a wonder kid coach. I don't. When are they supposed to lose?
Let's check this out.
And if Ty Simpson is literally going to develop into anything If he develops into at least fucking Ryan Tannehill on the Titans, the league is in trouble. They don't need him to be a game changer. If you can just be a guy that can hold down the fort and do something, they are going to put the talent that you need around you. They don't give a fuck about the picks.
They damn near trademarked the phrase
Fuck them
"fuck
picks.
them pigs."
Fuck 'em. So
So I'm looking at their schedule
yeah,
right now, and okay, for context, y'all, I'm a Ravens fan. Have been a Ravens fan for over a decade and a half now.
he's from Chicago, by the way, y'all. This is crazy.
I am. Y'all telling me you can watch Rex Grossman lose you a Super Bowl, and you not feel like you have to make emotional changes in your life? Okay, get off my back, please.
Now, come on, man. Come on now.
you, you
I
were the
love the
you.
Ravens. I love the Ravens. I have so much respect for Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, Ray Lewis. I fucked with Joe Flacco during that run. I still think he deserves a lot more credit because that's one of the best playoff runs ever.
That's equivalent to like a 2011 Dirk run to me in terms of like who you had to go through and what you had to do to get there.
And he did it bro, the miracle in Mile High is still the miracle in Mile High.
They still don't like that man, even though he's passed away now because of that. It's like, hey, hand on a dead man as a result.
That scene of well, yeah, I'm sorry to bring that up. Oh yeah. No. That was good for y'all. The scene of Ray Lewis hitting that dance after y'all beat the Patriots in the wild card. Again, iconic shit. So I don't blame you, but I'm sorry, bro. How you not gonna have no love for the home team?
I have love for the home team. My dad has a helmet in Jersey. It's still at the crib in the case. Like it's I have a Walter Payton jersey at the crib. Like I am a Bears fan on a part of my heart, but not in my brain. It, and to quote like Bomani Jones, I'm off that narcotic. Okay. And I love that the Bears are doing well. I will never root against them. I'm just not actively rooting for them at this moment in time in my. But all that context was Myles Garrett's biggest weakness is athletic quarterbacks who can give the threat of running at him so he can't rush the passer as aggressively. They only play say three of those all year.
What are the
So
teams?
like we're gonna run through this. The first game is against the 49ers. Division game, gonna be tough, but probably gonna win it. Then you play the Giants with Jackson Dart.
They've been adding so much wide receiver talent today. They added Juju and they added LBJ.
Which is why you add.
I don't know when Malik Neighbors is coming back. Maybe I don't know. Again, you're really right. I don't know how bad are your number twos to where you feel the need to add all these other guys. So I don't.
I feel like OBJ was damn near retirement or pseudo retirement. Like I think he wasn't.
He was not in the league. He definitely wasn't in the fucking league. I'll tell you that much.
So then they play the Broncos, which is a great defense versus a great defense. If Bonus is healthy, that'll be a good game. I hope if Jared Seven plays, they have no chance.
Yeah,
that's just a fact.
Yeah,
like
you're right.
You have the Eagles, and they shade away AJ Brown. Devontae Smith's going to be number one. I'm excited to see what that looks like, but it's going to look different than with AJ. They just two different styles of receiver, both number one talents.
We'll see if Mekhi Lemon steps up. He could end up being that for them.
I think he's more of a number two from the slot. I think he's going to slide in the spot that Devontae Smith was, but I'm interested to see what the new OC does.
Yeah,
so
I always liked Devontae next to AJ because Devontae was such a slimmer, more light frame. So that's going to be the most interesting thing is because being that number one, you're going to be getting most of the targets or you're going to take most of the punishment. So I'm interested to see.
He can handle it.
I guess that's what I'm going to be interested to see how he holds up across the full season.
I mean, he played in the SEC for multiple years in that same frame.
That's true. That is true. You're right.
So, they play the Bills. Josh Allen could give them trouble, but if their O-line is suspect, That might and if they can't run the ball successfully, because the Rams have great defensive tackles,
True.
top 5 in, uh, rush rate in the season. They play the Cardinals, rest in peace to the Cardinals, that's gonna be terrible. They play the Raiders. I know Fernando Mendoza was like, "I have to play who? How many times again?"
He was already sweating having to see Jared Verse. Now you have to see Myles Garrett.
I don't think people understand. Myles Garrett is a mutant. Like, if no person that big should be that athletic, that nimble.
He's a scary motherfucker. Him and Aaron Donald are two motherfuckers that don't ever need to be like Aaron Donald is no longer allowed to come out of retirement now. You need to stay your ass at home.
Like, nah, you can stay over there.
Right. Not
And they play
allowed.
the Chargers. They're charging to fix the O-line, or else they will get Justin Herbert will get injured in that game.
He's getting
God
hurt. He's getting
forbid,
hurt that game. I hate to say it. Knock on wood.
but I don't want that for him. But that O-line has been suspect enough where Myles Garrett will.
If Joe Alt isn't there, then they're in trouble.
I mean, and Herbert's a tough dude, but you don't want to put, and that's a game in November. You don't want to put him in danger in November. So then they play the Commanders.
Mm.
Jaden Daniels coming out the injury. He probably will be in rhythm by that point. That'll be a good game. Play the Cardinals again. They play the Packers. That game, depends on which Jordan Love shows up.
I'm not really sold on that guy. Not just, and that's not even the Packers hater in me saying that's just not. I'd really, as long as he's been in the league, I feel like we would have known by now if he was going to be like Aaron Rodgers and really turn into at least something good. I just don't think that he's going to be anything more than what he is now. And what he is now is not going to be enough in the NFC North.
He feels like a Dak Prescott light to me.
Ding ding. 100% right. I think that he is not even and he's like a lame version of Dak Prescott, because I don't even think that Dak Prescott, I feel like, is a good leader. I don't know if I get that same vibe from Jordan Love.
His decision making just throws me off sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would you throw that? Or
Yeah.
why would you take that side? I get it. I didn't play football in the NFL. I know everything happens fast so you can process it half the time. But there's sometimes he makes great decisions like, okay, so you can do that. And other times where I'm like,
Why?
why would you throw that post in a triple coverage with the safety over the top? Like, do you want your wide receiver to go to the hospital? That's a hospital ball. If he catches it, you might just get it lit up for no reason.
And that's always been the big knock on him, is just some of those weird, like, abhorrent decisions that he'll make. So all that is to say, Myles Garrett being on the Rams isn't necessarily going to make them unbeatable. But I do just feel like that limit that lowers the number of teams that are gonna even have a chance in NFC even more. The NFC West is now the buzzsaw division. I thought it was gonna be us, but no, that Myles Garrett being in there on that team, that is the three. You're in some fucking trouble.
We have the 49ers defense with Greenlaw coming back, and oh my God, who's Fred Warner's coming back.
Yep. Kittle's gonna be back healthy on that offensive side too.
Back, so that defense is gonna be crazy. The Seahawks, Super Bowl winning defense, lost nobody. Crazy.
No, wait. Seahawks definitely lost. They lost their running back. They lost Kobe Bryant to the Bears, so they lost pieces. But
I meant from the defense.
They lost their
safety.
They lost their safety.
One safety. One out of bringing back 10 out of 11 on Super Bowl defense.
You're right.
For me, seeing people lose half their defense after Super Bowl. And then you have the Rams with mutants.
Mutants.
That's like, you're gonna have to have such a good zone running game to make them just back off just a little bit, because they're gonna be hunting from snap one.
Hunting.
Like, you gotta make sure your protections are right. You're gonna have to slot people over to double team them all the time.
What's scary about this is that they have the type of team to where They can get an early lead, and Myles Garrett can just start teeing back and going after your quarterback because he's going to know what you have to do. God help any quarterback that finds himself in that position where they know you're going to be continuously throwing and you have to just continue to just stand in that pocket, waiting on that man, hoping you have more than 2 or 3 seconds to get that ball out of there.
In that regard, I feel bad for Jacoby Brissett.
Mm,
Play him twice a year.
mm. Praying for that man. He should have been in
How
that.
many points do you think the Rams will have to score every game, the minimum amount of points to win? My guess is 13.
Yeah, 13. 13 sounds about right. Because you're not going to just find yourself in too many games where y'all are just letting up like more than 20. I
If
just
so, it's probably because of turnovers, good special teams, or big run plays.
facts. But like I said, that puts them in position to be the number one in the NFC. I think they are going to be a problem, but they were not the only team to make a big splash on this day. We also had the long time coming trade finally went down in Philly. A.J. Brown is now a member of the Patriots.
I feel like we knew this exact thing was happening on this exact day for the past 9 months.
Yes, and it's still just like it's funny and it's crazy how I got there. I remember, I think the first time I really saw the buzz, and this is funny and ironic because of how everything just went since then. I think it was the lady who Vrabel is cheating on was cheating
Diana
on her.
Rossini.
Diana Rossini was the one who broke that story. I remember seeing it. So maybe he was putting that out there to try to get that ball rolling in that way, but it it happened. Details for the trade. I know a first round pick was included in a second round.
2028 first and I think 2028 or 2029 third or fifth. One of the, let me double check this.
Okay.
It's one of the two. They only get two draft picks. So
Okay.
you can argue that maybe the Eagles didn't get enough. There's a 2028 first and a 2027 first.
Okay. When it comes to them not getting enough or getting fleeced, at the end of the day, there's only so much value you're going to get from a guy when everybody knows that you can
Doesn't
say
want to
what
be
you
there.
want, that he just doesn't want to be there. You can do all the little like semantics that he said the right things when actually pressed on it about it in interviews and shit like that. But it was very clear and very obvious that he was uncomfortable being there. He wasn't happy with the way things would go, and that he felt like he was having to talk and do all of that to get things the way he liked. It got to a point. Like they won the Super Bowl in spite of it. And then the very next season, you find yourself in that sort of real awkward ass position because of all the drama and all of the antics. So I personally completely get it. At a certain point, you just have to look out for the betterment of the team and making sure that everybody is just the vibes are good. Because when the vibes are not good, that will fuck everything up. And it doesn't matter how talented you are, you won't be able to overcome that shit. So I don't know about you, but I'm not really mad at them doing what they had doing it this way. I just think that they could have maybe if you were I don't know why they let it go on as long as they did. I'll say it like that. I feel like if it was always going to end this way, why did it take this long to get here?
Cap hit.
Why not do it at the trade deadline that was this last season as they were so rumored to be doing?
Because you want to give yourself a chance. Like chance to like the offensive coordinator. Don't remember his name.
Kevin Patullo.
Right. Kevin Patullo, not great.
He was not
And so
good.
you don't want to take away weapons from an offense that's already not doing well, especially in a division that was very up for grabs.
And they still got it despite everything. So I get where you're coming from, and it did pay off to have AJ there. If for anything else, shit, if you weren't gonna throw it to him all the time, he was a good decoy. I really feel like they would have been a lot better off getting rid of all of the drama and noise a lot earlier because just the vibes are off now, and I feel like I've been seeing a lot more negativity about the whole team ever since this season
Mhm.
ended and everything. I not too long ago I saw some shit about how not a lot of Eagles players are dislike Jalen Hurts now, and shit like that is it's a telltale sign of a franchise that is in trouble, of losing and
Yeah.
falling off the wagon, and everybody just sort of giving up on this current iteration of it.
I was gonna ask you, you think Jalen Hurts is in the hot seat now?
Yes, but I don't think that he should be. I really feel like Jalen Hurts is not the reason why things were not working the way that they were working correctly. I think the offensive coordinator just was not good. He was not doing a proper job on how to, like, manage the rest of the team and actually get the most out of that offense. But Jalen Hurts being who he is, being a quarterback, playing in the city that is like Philly, where they are how they are. And I don't even hate to say it, but just being a black quarterback, you're going to just have to deal with a lot more shit than you just normally would. Because the quarterbacks already have to deal with a lot of shit. They already get extra blame when they don't deserve it, a la Baker Mayfield and his little injury riddled performance with the Browns when they ended up trading him
After he
after.
dropped 30 against the Steelers in a playoff game, the first playoff game in like 2 decades.
Then the next year, after he plays the season with a hurt fucking shoulder, you decide to dump him for a quarterback with a whole bunch of allegations and say you needed someone who knew how to be an
And
adult.
injuries, allegations and injuries.
I'll never understand it. It's why I'll say I can't even really, it's not a pure race thing. It's just a quarterback thing. But like that is that is why I don't see it really going well for Jalen Hurts unless he balls out this year. Because they're gonna get rid of the coach maybe next. Maybe he has more equity than Jalen Hurts in terms of staying around.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts might be out.
I
I
could
think
see
that actually might be the most likely scenario, other outside of either them going out individually, they just send them both on their way.
I will say if you're gonna get rid of Jalen Hurts at that point, you might as well get a new coach. You might as well. Because like once you get rid of it's to the point now, once you get a quarterback on the second or third contract, you are marrying yourself to them for better or for worse. And once you get rid of that guy, like unless that coach really done got something or has really shown that he is a big part of the engine, the fuck do you need him for? Start over. Really start over. But
Flip Jalen for some picks, offensive line picks, a quarterback pick. Make sure you keep your defensive coordinator because their defense has been with driving their success the past 3 years.
yeah.
Even when the offense has been bad, their defense has literally won them games. A lot of game last year where they blocked the field goal and ran it back to score. Like, so if Jalen does leave Philadelphia, I would love for him to go to the Colts.
You know what? I think that would be a real good stabilizing figure for them that they could really need. I like that too. I think that would be somebody good for them to use, somebody that really sort of fits the culture down there. Um, I don't know really where else he would go though. Like is
New Orleans is my other thought.
it's yeah, that's probably the only other spot. Uh Again though,
I mean, people liking Tyler Shock.
right. I just feel like with
I don't know
Jalen,
why.
he's gonna need to what'd you say?
I don't know why they like Tyler Shock so much, but
He performed decent enough. Again, I don't think he was good at all, but I think he performed decent enough to where sometimes that's all those fans want. Especially when you are so used to your team just being shit. They just want to have somebody that's gonna make them feel like, okay, especially at the quarterback position, that they can sort of hold it down. But
yeah,
when it comes to when it comes to Philly and where they go from here, I I don't expect the bottom to fall out. I think they're still too talented of a team, especially on defense. So I think that either this season is going to be a big return to form, and they're going to just go back to being like a number 1 or a 2 seed, or or things are going to get really ugly because you've already gotten rid of AJ now. You've gotten rid of the guy who was vocally part of the problem. If shit don't add up and you continue to hear noise, because literally we're at a point now where I've seen full reports of people talking about how his own teammates don't like him, talking about Jalen Hurts. So they gotta get that shit under control. They gotta really like straighten the ship and stabilize it. Otherwise, this whole window that they have is going to be closed before it even really got open.
I mean, I think in the NFL, championship windows close quicker than they open.
Hey, that is true.
It's not like the NBA where you can kind of stretch it out with contract length, draft, and like you're just having less players to account for. You can kind of do more things to keep that core intact. Football, the injury rate is just so high, and there's just so many things in the CBA that allow for different player movements and different types of contracts. I mean, just looking at it, I think the Eagles just probably win nine games next year,
I can see that 9-10.
9-10, because they play the Rams, which is going to be hard for them. They play the Seahawks, they play the Texans, and they play the 49ers. And they play all three games all in a row. Seahawks, Texans, 49ers, and then the Giants to end the season, which is, I think, but they also play the Rams, the Bears, the Titans, Commanders. So the schedule's favorable, but there could be some rough patches.
I feel it. I feel it. But moving on to the last topic that I wanted to discuss, we talked about being a Bears fan a little earlier, and the hardest part of it right now is having to deal with the fact that despite us having a franchise quarterback for the first time in ever, having a coach that is making us proud, taking his shirt off and everything like that, the Bears are still fucking around when it comes to their stadium. There was a deadline that was supposed to be met over this past weekend where they were going to reach out and like finalize a deal that was going to really get the ball rolling on potentially finding a new spot in Chicago or anywhere else. That passed, no resolution was found. So not only are we still waiting, but now it is still on the table for them to either be in Hammond, Indiana, or, and this is my preferred spot, Arlington Heights, Illinois. I'm going to just rant right quick about this Hammond shit. Listen, I am very, very clear on this. I'm very clear with my thoughts and how I want this to go. Stay in Illinois. I don't give a fuck if they move to Joliet. I don't care if they are in Plainfield. I don't care if they are in Oswego. I don't care if they are in Peoria. I don't care if they are in Charleston, Illinois. Stay in Illinois. This is our state. Chicago is, they can fuck you around on the land. I get all that. So I'm not going to be mad at them if they can't find a spot in Chicago. But you got to stay in the state. My fellow Ravens fan, do you have thoughts?
Wow, that's so rude. You use that moment to make that point. I've sat at Soldier Field seats in November when it's cold and we have a losing record. Okay.
And you still gave up. You still gave up on them.
I did. Because I leave toxic relationships when I realize it's not good for me emotionally. Okay? That's what I do.
Okay. You are mature. You're mature. You're better than me in that front. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, I respect the fandom. I respect some of their principles. But I agree. You can't. Honestly, I don't want to move out of Soldier Field. And for this reason, it adds so much to the city to have your basketball arena, your football stadium, and both of your baseball stadiums in reach via public transit. You know how easy it is that makes it for both residents, visitors, tourists, etc., to have access to those things. And for it to feel very metropolitan, there are very few other franchises where their stadium is like in the heart of their city and isn't surrounded by concrete and parking garages. and it's right on the lake. It's just a unique situation that not many other cities have. And I understand it, right? You want to upgrade the stadium, you want it to be bigger, you want it to fit more people. Kind of get it. But like the Bears aren't going to run out of money because of the stadium size.
Okay. My rebuttal to that is that the main preference for having a new state of the art stadium isn't to dilute or to make it harder with the commutes and everything. It is because the state revenue that could come from Final Fours, from the tournaments, from all these other things they can host in there is just astronomical. And just from a WrestleMania, for instance, and let's just be real, they're not doing those types of events. They're not hosting those things in these small arenas anymore. Seattle getting it with the climate pledge was more about just making sure they were in Seattle. In a city like Chicago, especially in a city that is not going to necessarily have the nicest weather during the months that some of these events happen,
Who need to say that again?
you're going to and again, this I just want to make it really clear right this to anybody that is from Illinois, all my people out there. I don't want a fucking dome on the building, or at least I don't want one that is like that you can't
That's
retract.
retractable.
Yes,
You want a retractable dome.
you need the snow for those football games. You can close that shit for concert and everything, but when somebody else is coming in there in January and February, fuck them. I want them to feel the cold. But they want all of that, so that they want that dome stadium, preferably in my mind, so that they can have all of these different events and make the money. They hired Kevin Warren so that he could come in here and get this deal done and get everything taken care of. He has not done it yet. I am still of the opinion that they know how wrong it would be for you to be bringing motherfuckers to a Bears event and you having to drive to fucking Hammond, Indiana. You having to leave the state of Illinois.
But what's
So
funny about that, though,
what?
Hammond is closer than Arlington Heights to the stadium is now.
Yes, I get it. But if I'm saying a state, you're leaving Illinois, now entering Indiana sign, something's wrong. New Jersey, and I've had somebody come up and bring this up about New Jersey being the same thing because of the Giants and them being in the New York, but they play in New Jersey. It's just different. Number one, this is not a state that doesn't have a team already. They've got the Colts. They have something. Hammond, Indiana has a team for them to root for. So I don't want to hear that aspect of it. And then number two, it's Illinois, man. Chicago, Illinois. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just harp on that because it's just this big. Like, what the fuck are we doing? What are your thoughts, bro? I'm just I'm frustrated that it's gotten to this point. Illinois has such corrupt politicians that this shouldn't be a thing, but here we are.
I mean,
And
that's what's called the Windy City because of politics. It do get windy there. Let's not get it twisted.
but it's because of
Well, like,
the shady shit that happens.
3 of our governors have done federal prison time in the past 30 years.
Niggas went to jail.
Not just jail, federal prison, brother.
Federal
They're doing
prison.
85% of that time, regardless.
So I don't really know what their whole end game is. I don't know how much longer this is gonna take. All I can do is pray that George does not actually want to go and have fucking investors and shareholders coming to Hammond, Indiana when he wants to just show off a Bears game or anything like that. I think he has to know that's not ideal. But it's
I mean, not ideal, not unideal enough for it to not be on the table.
You're right. Because if they're offering him a better deal, if they're going to give him not give them the tax breaks they're looking for, like every other NFL owner, and I hate to bring it up, but again, we can't try to be the one city that's trying to strong arm these NFL owners. They don't give a fuck. They will do what they have to do, and
They
then
really will.
the fans will be the ones who are left fucked over. We've seen Stan Kroenke and them do what they did to St. Louis, moving back to LA. Niggas moved the Baltimore Colts in the middle of the night to Indianapolis. In the middle of the night. Just got a moving truck back in the day.
They
So
moved the Raiders to Las Vegas. Oakland is just
Said
catching
fuck
so many
them.
L's when that's concerned.
And yeah, and don't get me started on how Seattle got done with their basketball team, which and I say all that to say, man, I'm not surprised by them not getting it done. I'm scared by the prospects of what could happen next. Because damn it, I ain't trying to see my team have to. I'm not trying to have to go to my first Bears game because I've never been to one, and I don't want my first one.
Really?
I've never been to a Bears game, not one live, and I don't want my first one to be in Hammond, Indiana, man. That would be horrible.
You gotta go to one before they move.
I shit. Shit. If they really were to make that move, I'm gonna be at a Bears game before the fucking shovel goes in the ground.
I mean, also we're talking like this is like an 8 to 10 year project, right? Because the stadium has they have to buy the land, make sure all the development is proper, make sure don't need to dynamic impact any of the soil, that there's no water on it, because that's also something they have to do with in that area is too much uh, water in the soil
Yeah.
and a few other things. So we have to do all that, and the stadium has to get built, and then it has to be inspected, and then it opens, and then you can have games there.
Right.
So this is talked about like it's happening soon. It's not.
This is just it's just a political game with them at this point. I really think that the reason they keep trying to like stall this and keep this shit going is that they want to force the Bears to either stay in Soldier or just like create something in Chicago that isn't going to have any real benefit to them. And it's just the longer they play it, the more they increase the chance of the Bears calling their bluff. And that is what worries me. And that's what pisses me off because if there's one thing that's going to piss off the constituents in all of these Chicago districts and everything and all shit in all of Illinois, it's if you let the Bears move to fucking Indiana.
Yeah, it's just not a good look.
I know
Like,
people
people
don't
aren't going to feel good about it.
right. Like I know people are already upset about Arlington Heights being so far away compared to Chicago, but people will deal with that if they're in Illinois and they're moving if they're going to some nice little area to go to some big gigantic stadium and all the other shit that's obviously going to be built around. But we shall see, man. It's the political game in Illinois is what made me hate politics as a young kid. It's what made me just sort of so disillusioned with both sides of this shit. Still, y'all still fuck the other side if y'all know what I'm saying. I'm not even gonna go too far into that. But
Yeah, the
it's
politics in Illinois.
like you said, I grew up seeing all of these Democratic governors going to jail, to federal prison.
Federal prison.
Federal prison. Niggas almost made me a conservative just seeing them doing all this shit. Like, what's wrong with all these fucking Democrats? Like nigga almost
Not even talk about the fact that we sold our parking meters to Saudi Arabia like 20 years ago for like a few million in comparison to how much money that they pay out.
facts. Like it's
That's not important. I just find that crazy.
nah, it's all crazy when you think about it. But I love my state. I love my state, man. It made me the man that I am. So I'll always appreciate it.
I recommend Chicago to anybody ever. The city's fantastic. Don't go December, February. Just don't if you're trying to have a good time.
But yeah, any other time, man, especially during the summer, just go out where you go. Never go check it out. Niggas say go check it out. Don't go check it out. But shit, you know how to do that. Keep your head on the shovel. Stay away from the west side and south side if you don't know nobody, and you good.
Definitely stay away from the west side. They just be doing too much over there.
Big facts. But in closing, this has been Kinetic Aesthetic. This has been your boy Germ. Cam, do you have any closing thoughts, anything that you want to leave the people with that you're excited about?
Man, this NBA finals are going to be great. I think it's going to
Bro.
be an all timer.
All right, they play game one on Wednesday. Are they going like so it's gonna be the first game Wednesday, second game Friday?
I think the second game might be Saturday.
Damn. So that's a
Oh no,
couple.
no, it's Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, then Saturday, game 5.
So there's
So
no game on Saturday or Sunday.
No,
Fuck. So
it's
I
just
will.
Wednesday and Friday.
Okay. Well, I will not be watching any games over the weekend, but because that's when I got off. But definitely, hey, Wednesday I might be a little distracted. Hey, niggas gonna come up to that desk asking to watch anything else, bro. It's reserved. It's been reserved. I'm reserving it right now.
Is there a Mariners game happening at that exact time? Let's find.
You know we'll split it for that. That's the only thing I'm split for.
Let's see, they play tomorrow. They do play Wednesday. They'll play in the early afternoon.
Bam. Look at God. But nah, man, I'm excited. This has been an exciting week in sports. We got the NBA finals getting ready to start. The NFL has just really kicked off this new year because the big trades are happening. So now it's like, nigga, whatever you thought you knew about the NFL before, after, as of last season, you got to completely rethink all of it.
One last thing from you. What is a trade that would shock you? Like a big trade that would genuinely shock you?
That could still potentially happen.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say Joe Burrow potentially really being on the move with the Vikings to Minnesota.
Really?
I sort of really do believe. I don't think he was blowing smoke last season when he started to say what he was saying in those press
Mm-hmm.
conferences. That was not him just trying to be cute and say all that. That was him really sending a fucking message. Like, hey, I am peeping that I do not like the direction that we are going. I don't like how these things are developing. I can understand why he sort of maybe would have walked it back. You know what? Let me let cooler heads prevail. Let me give this some more time. Especially, and I said it at the time, he had to take a little self-responsibility for him not being hurt as often as he was. But let this season go to last ones the same way the last ones have. Let him play a full season like he did 2 years ago, be completely healthy, put up amazing numbers, and let them not get shit done. Let them not make the playoffs. You will see a very upset Joe Burrow, and you will see a Joe Burrow that I don't think will want to be in there. Hometown discount and all that other shit be damned.
People talk about, okay, this is the one thing I'll say about this. Joe Burrow's a fantastic quarterback. He's elite. After I saw him play in 2019 at LSU,
You
first of all,
knew.
that 2019 LSU team was nuts. Okay.
Insane. Insane.
But he hasn't been to the playoffs in almost 5 years. People putting up there in the top elite tier, and they should, based on what he's done thus far.
That year he put up 2 years ago, he was literally offsetting that defense as much as he could.
And still to make the playoffs.
Still.
Defense has gotten better on paper. Whether or not they can put it together,
Comes
we're
down to
going to
him.
find out. But Joe Burrow to Minnesota, not if they trade him, this Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray straight up.
Hell
That
no.
wouldn't happen.
Hell
But
no. They would need to have 3 or
hilarious.
4 first-round picks in there with Kyler
They
Murray
would
for
have to
that to
send
work.
came out here and just do like a straight swap. Kyler Murray and Jettas to Cincinnati, and then Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to Minnesota. They just do a QB wide receiver swap.
Damn shit. But that's really that's the only thing I can think of that I can think of that might have a chance of actually happening. I can't really think. Myles Garrett and AJ Brown were the two big players that everybody sort of knew Myles Garrett didn't want to be there. He just really just was happy to have that money. So the only question that's left now is, are you going to be able to get it done? You've got now you have your money and you're on the fucking Rams. You're on a team that, nigga, they're my Super Bowl pick right now, and I'm a Bears fan. It's paining me to say that I just really don't even know if the Bears have a shot this year. But
I think the Bears have a shot, but it's going to be one of those games where there's going to be one mistake, and you better not make it. And when it happens, you better be ready to capitalize.
I
Because
felt
you won't get another chance.
I felt like I don't know why I felt like this long going into the playoff game last year, but I felt like the Bears had the offense that could offset the Rams defense, that could sort of match up with them well and match up, especially going in with the weather, going up against the Rams and, I felt like we had a good enough offense to match with their defense, and even though our defense had no really wasn't a good match for their offense. Now, I feel like both sides are until I know what the offensive line is still going to be the same after losing those two pieces and Drew Dahlman and Ozzie. I don't know if I trust if I trust our offensive line to hold back that defensive line on the Rams, and that's the big difference. I don't know if that could turn into one of those games where Cam, or not Cam, but shit, but fuck, Caleb. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know why I was thinking the name Cam concept. Well, because my co-host name is Cam, but the Caleb's name was like stuck in my head. But that could be a game where Caleb starts running around for his fucking life.
That's the
And
thing. He already does that a little bit too much.
he might be doing it because he has to, not because he's just like wired or he's like in his head. It might be because these niggas
That's
are
fair.
getting here after a split second and I need to move.
That's fair. But it's I think they need to show up the offensive line. Everyone in the AFC does immediately. And now we just gotta play the game to see what happens. There's so many international games this year. I want people to kind of peep that and notice that. I think there are like 8 or 9 international games this year.
That's a lot. It's a whole lot.
Yeah,
There's
it
going to be
is.
a lot of teams dealing with jet lag and things of that nature. It's going to be interesting to see. The 49ers are already rightfully so complaining a little bit, which I think they should. But this is the last thing we can leave off on. Because I don't know how you feel about the international games, like especially them getting so much more and more prominence. I love the game being expanded into these other markets, but I'm left with the thought: wasn't this what NFL Europe was for? Because
Mhm.
it is not really righteous to be doing this to the players, especially when they're having multiple games, especially when you already have all these games on different days of the week where you're just throwing them all over the place now. It's like niggas trying to play all 7 days of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's like, chill out.
I agree, but then like you then have to make this something that the league cares about the players. And
Yeah, and we all
that,
know that they don't,
I feel like
but
that's a rough assumption to make.
I agree. I agree. So it's a really crazy thing that's happening because it's like they claim to care so much about player safety, at least like just for PR sake. And then they do things like this where it just shows you y'all really don't give a fuck at all. This is about the bottom line, late stage capitalism for the win. And so we shall see. Um, hopefully the players are not nobody gets really like ran down too hard in terms of like just exhaustion, everything like that from all of that. And hopefully they don't do what they're also thinking about doing and trying to add even more games to the regular season because that's
It's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen 5 years from now when the new CBA drops.
they're gonna have to add like 10 more players to the roster limit because they're just not these guys' bodies cannot take all of that. They're not supposed to.
I agree. There shouldn't be 17 games to be honest.
They should just go back to 16. That was the perfect amount.
Yeah.
That was the perfect amount. Now they overdid it. Now you dilute the product. It's greed. But that's a deep dive we could have, damn it.
That's a later thing.
Right. That's a deep dive we could have for sports talk about that. But my man, I appreciate you so much.
Of
Appreciate you
course,
so
of
much for
course.
joining us as always. You already know. I appreciate you watching at home. We appreciate you so much. So we want to tell you, make sure that you like, follow, subscribe. If you are watching this on Spotify, share it with your people, share it on your Instagrams. Get the sports talk out there to everybody. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you hype up the video, make sure you like it. Make sure you share that as well. Make sure you boost us in that algorithm so that we can get this thing up to heights. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers by August. You know the goal is there. We're trying to reach it. And with all that being said, I want to say on behalf of myself, I appreciate you. I love you all. Continue to drink more water. Continue to be good people. And Cam, unless you say something.
Like, comment, subscribe. Say it again. Thank you all for coming, being here with us, and we'll see you next time.
Y'all already know the deal, man. This has been Sports Talk. It's been your boy Germ. It's been your boy Cam. We appreciate y'all, and we'll be back at y'all next week with some analysis on that ongoing NBA Finals. Can't wait for that. But other than that, y'all continue to be good people. Sports Talk is out.